Introduce the ends to the means.
They got me screaming out.
You don't get to know about the show.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Chillin in the Wolfden.
Hi, I'm Jake, aka Perception 7.
And I'm Ryan Darris, aka B-Boy Ninja, aka Omnipotent and Omnipresent. Now this is a little show where we talk about the things we're interested in, do some reviews, top fives, and good stuff like that.
Fuck, I also messed up, but make sure, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down, check out the links below.
And, furthermore, the links have all the good stuff, like links to our website, music, PayPal you can donate to, and all kinds of good stuff like that, so check it out. Quick little overview. Got a lot of cool stuff today. We got some big DC news we're going to be talking about. Another comic book type pitch thing we're doing. We're going to be doing our top 5 as usual, and then we'll be ending after that.
Yep.
But jumping into it, some DC news. Man, we've some cool stuff put out by James Gunn recently, and also in the comic sides.
Yep.
But before we get into the big stuff, I want to talk about some of the smaller stuff. First, which hopefully I'll remember and put the links in here, but if not, you can find all the stuff I'm about to talk about right now I found on the channel Absolutely Marvel and DC with Benny the Comic Historian and Sal Comic Pop and a few other the people that host on that channel, so you can check them out. Hopefully I remember the links will be in below if you want to, but if not, they posted all the videos like that we're going to be talking about right here. But first, so we checked out that there's going to be a new Green Arrow revamp in the comics, which looked really dope. They had a big cast of characters on the cover going. They didn't really say what was going to be going on, but I think the image does a nice job of kind of telling that.
Yeah, what's gonna go on throughout this comic or throughout the series, I would presume.
Yeah,
probably be a series.
But it looks like they're bringing the fan back. Oliver's been gone for a while, so it's nice having him come into it.
Yeah.
And man, it's a big cast. They had Diggle on there, Black Canary. I saw Amiko, Mia Dearden Queen.
Yep. They had
Count Vertigo, I think, was on there. Malcolm Merlin. I saw Onomatopoeia on there.
Onomatopoeia, yeah. They also had was it Red Canary?
No,
not Red Canary.
There's no Red Canary.
Not Red.
Are you talking about Red Arrow?
Not Red Arrow. Oh no, maybe I was thinking of Red Arrow. I don't know why I said Red Canary.
Yeah, that was Amiko. And then
wait, weren't there technically two?
Well, there's Red Arrow and there's Arrowette.
That's right, Arrowette.
But and then there was also Arsenal was on there.
Arsenal, yeah.
Which I'm glad they got rid of the stupid trucker hat. I never liked that.
Yeah.
But it's sick. He's got the crossbows too.
Yep.
But yeah, it looks cool. I'm pretty interested in it, especially being a big Green Arrow fan and having him come back. I'm excited. It looks like it's gonna be good. They also did little Superman revamp, so I'm wondering if anyone else is gonna be getting these revamps.
Probably, yeah. Who would you want to get another revamp?
I'm trying to think. Cause we've had a lot more recently, especially with Batman and Flash and stuff. So I don't know, maybe giving Cyborg a revamp or the Titans or something.
Actually, I would like to see Titans get a revamp. That's probably one I would like to see a lot.
Yeah.
Is Titans getting a revamp.
But yeah, it looks super cool, super interested. Like the designs, the cover, it looked really, really good. So
yeah,
check that out.
Good. Looked really good.
Our next thing we're going to talk about is just another small one, but Titans and Doom Patrol are going to be ending it with these seasons. They did get a little bit of a notice, so they did plan for this to be at least the last season, so it'll be nice. They won't feel too much missing, hopefully, and stuff like that. But Titans and Doom Patrol I've actually both really liked, so I am a little sad to see is going to go.
Titans is really good show. I'm surprised that it's what was it ending for? Or why was it ending again?
Oh, it's just because James Gunn is in charge and he's trying to clean up the DC, and he's trying to make everything connected now.
Yeah, that's
basically like the Kevin Feige of Marvel.
DC. Gotcha.
But yeah, so sad to see this going.
Yep.
Still waiting for the rest of the Titan season to be put up for the last one, so I could watch that.
Yep.
Going forward, man, here's the big stuff. James Gunn came and released a statement, which you can find that video, I'm sure, just by searching it wherever on the internet. But also, like I said, absolutely Marvel and DC covered it, and they go over all the points. So you can check that out and then come back here and watch this or after or whatever. But went through a lot of stuff, so I'm going to just go over like the small portions, kind of hit it, bullet point style.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of cool movies coming out, which we got Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Yep.
I figure for each one, we'll just kind of say if we're excited and our thoughts on that. So I'll start with you.
For Shazam, I'm kind of about it. I'm not a huge Shazam fan, but I think overall the movie looks good, or at least the cover of it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not that excited for it.
Yeah.
It looks like it will be good, but just not a huge Shazam
fan. I definitely like the first Shazam one. I'm not a big Shazam fan, and the movie didn't have me super, so I'm not crazy. It's cool it'll be finishing, but I'm also, now that the universe is kind of be rebooting, anything that's going to be in the end or from the previous thing, I'm kind of meh about,
Yeah, because we're now waiting for the later product.
Yeah, especially after I heard, which we'll be talking in a sec, you'll see why. But
yes.
So I think I'm going to hit all the ones that are old ones. So next we got Aquaman 2.
Yeah, I'm not. I didn't like the first Aquaman.
Yeah.
I just did not like it. I thought it was cool that they added Black Manta because, he's a villain that, no one talks about because he's an Aquaman villain. But I didn't like the first one, so if the second one does better by any small chance, that's cool, but I'm meh.
Yeah,
meh about it.
Kind of same. I did like the first one, so I actually am a little bit, not super hyped, but I feel like I will enjoy this one, so I do want to see it. But yeah, not too overly hyped. Next we got, let's see, any of the other old ones on here. Oh, this is kind of an older one. Well, not an older one, but it's still going to be probably the old stuff, but it looks like Waller, which is going to be, about Amanda Waller from that, from this universe and stuff.
That looks pretty good. I don't know if I'm hyped about it or not. I'm a bit confused because I don't remember who Amanda Waller was.
She's Viola Davis, the black girl with the kind of short afro hair.
Oh yeah! Oh fuck! Yeah, that is her.
Yeah, she's the one who runs Suicide Squad and Argus.
That's right. Oh, that's
so
why I
they're gonna kind of fall on her, and I think it'll have Peacemaker and stuff.
Probably.
So I've got mild excitement for that one too. I just want to see it more, a little more about it before I know, because I want to know what the story is, and then I think I'll have a little more hype for it.
Maybe, yeah. I forgot who she was for a minute. I forgot she was in Suicide Squad. Damn.
So this another old one that's been worked on for a long time. I want to say 2012 is back when I first heard about this, but I don't know if it's going to start in the old DCU or if it's going to be a part of the new DCU. So I don't know where the story's going to fit in, but that's the Blue Beetle movie, which I'm super hyped about. Really like the character design and the costume from when I seen pictures way back when.
I'm so hyped about it. Blue Beetle is, yeah. The actor that they're having play him is a really great actor. I'm forgetting his name now.
Actually, I don't know who he is.
He was in Cobra Kai.
Gotcha.
I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. The costume that they had for him looked really clean.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to look that clean. And Blue Beetle is one of my favorite characters, so I'm excited that he's actually getting a movie.
Yeah. I was really afraid it was going to get scrapped too after, all the stuff that's been going on, but I'm glad to see that's coming out.
Yep.
And the last one that's technically from the last universe, but we'll be rebooting it, and that is the Flash movie.
Yep.
Which, this one is really hard to talk about because, dude, I've been excited and waiting for this movie since I first heard about it back when I was in high school in 2012. Yep. But the whole Ezra Miller thing, it's kind of dude, you make this movie really hard
fucking
to watch.
hard to, yeah.
I still want to see it and watch it because regardless of him being a piece of shit, like everyone else that worked on the movie isn't a piece of shit, and
they're taking time to put effort into this, and they're trying, but they can't because it's just that's because of Ezra Miller.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go into it, and the whole time I watch the movie, I'm just gonna picture Grant Gustin's face over it. That's my plan. And I'm probably not even gonna go see it in the movies now. I'm probably just gonna wait for it to be on HBO. But literally, I'm just gonna picture Grant Gustin, and I know they are talking about trying to keep him moving forward as long as he, is a good boy and like gets help and all that. Yeah. Which, good on you, go get your help, but fuck you at the same time. Yeah. So
honestly, they should just cast him instead of Ezra. Just scrap it.
Yeah, well, my hopes is they're only saying that, and then after the movie comes out and they get enough people to watch it, they're like, okay, buy Ezra and cast someone else. So that's kind of my hopes. So
that would be interesting.
Or even maybe not even recast, just move on to Wally.
Move on to Wally. Yeah,
just like, oh, Barry died. Wally's the new Flash now.
Yeah, cool. He got one movie and now Wally.
Yeah. But so yeah, excited, disappointed, frustrated. There's a lot of things how I feel about that movie.
Yeah, I was pretty hyped about it when I heard that when the Flash was getting a new movie or getting a movie. He's never had a movie. He's never had a movie.
That's why I was so excited, dude. He's my second favorite DC hero.
Yeah, he's such a good character, and he's yet to get a movie, and now we're waiting because a dumbass actor just decides to do some stupid shit.
Yeah, so.
God damn you, Ezra Miller.
But yeah, so after that, though, this is where it gets interesting. We got a bunch of new projects talking about coming from James Gunn going forward with the new continuity. So we got Creature Commandos, which is going to be an animated series, which I don't know too much about this. Never heard of the Creature Commandos. So, but I know he likes a lot of obscure stuff, like that's why he did Guardians of the Galaxy, so I imagine it's going to be something like that. And he also mentioned something about how he's going to be doing a lot of like reverse MC stuff. A lot of characters will be seen in the animated stuff, and then their animated counterparts will get put into live action.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I got some mild excitement. I don't know much about it, so once I see more, we'll
Yeah. It's wait, which one was that again?
Creature Commandos.
Oh yeah, Creature Commandos. It looked really good from the cover that we saw in the video. It looked good, but I'm not too hyped on about it.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't really know anything about them, so it's kind of hard to get hyped for it.
Yeah.
Which I forgot to mention too, but Waller is also going to be done by the people who did Doom Patrol.
Oh.
And,
okay.
Yeah, so that should be interesting.
Yeah.
So another one got, which he mentioned, which was the Lanterns TV show, which they were been doing a Green Lanterns TV show, but scrapped it. So I imagine this is that getting reworked now for the new continuity.
Is this one gonna have both Hal Jordan and
apparently,
John Stewart?
Yeah, and I think John is the more main one. I think they said, but they said don't be surprised when you see a bunch of other ones.
Yeah. Well, I would suppose there would be a bunch of other ones other than just Hal and John. And
this one's apparently supposed to be like a true detective space mystery, which should be interesting.
Yeah.
Next, we got the Superman Legacy, which is going to be the new Superman movie and reboot, not with Henry Cavill, which I've actually kind of feel a little excited for, which is weird because I'm not a big Superman fan. I don't really get excited for it, but I feel like the way he explained it just feels so hopeful, and I'm kind of ready to see a Superman for this universe bring the rest out of everyone,
Yeah, and also it'd be great to see a Superman movie without Henry Cavill. I love Henry Cavill. Great actor. Just, I need a different actor now.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on from all the old actors, honestly. As much as them, like Gal Gadot, Ezra Miller, Henry Cavill, I want to be done with it. Let's just move forward. New actors everywhere.
Yeah.
But they're not
really
doing that. They're keeping some.
Really, a great reboot would be switching out all the actors, technically.
It would be less complicated, I feel.
Yeah.
So another one we got mentioned is The Authority, which are some Wildstorm characters, and it's gonna be kind of how he explained it, I guess, is the Snyder Cut Justice League characters of the universe, the darker, more grittier characters, basically. So I'm a little excited for that one. Curious as how that's gonna be. I want to check out some comics on it and see what they're about.
Yeah, cause I don't even know much about them, and I hardly don't much about them either.
Yeah.
Be
but sounds interesting. Another one we got is Paradise Lost. It's going to be a TV show about the origins of Themyscira, not really about Wonder Woman. So And he explains to be very Game of Thronesy, and by that I don't think he means necessarily political war. I think he means more fantasy and epicness.
Yeah.
But unless maybe it could be with like the gods in Themyscira, so we'll see. I don't know. But I'm actually pretty excited for that one. That one sounds cool. At least he said she was excited for that too.
Yeah.
Another one, which probably one of the two biggest things I'm excited for on here, and that's Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yes.
It's going to be the new Batman movie, which they're keeping the Pattinson one, but I forgot to mention, they're doing a really cool thing, which I've said this for years and years now, which they're going to have their main continuity, but anything they want to do not in that continuity, tell a separate story, it's going to be in Elseworlds and a separate universe. So Pattinson, the Joker movie, all that's going to keep going in their own universes, and this new continuity is going to be a separate Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to have Damian Wayne, interesting, as the Robin in this. So I'm really hoping, though, that means that there's already a Nightwing and Red Hood, and that they still all exist and were Robin at one point. But it's just we're starting at this point in time where Damian's already Robin.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited for this. I don't know.
I always loved Brave and the Bold, the animated series, or animated show, whatever, animated series. Actually, I think that was literally my favorite animated series of Batman was Brave and the Bold. So to see a live-action Brave and the Bold, and having Damian Wayne as Robin is quite interesting, because they better include all the other ones that were Robin at one point.
I think you'll have a lot of people upset if they don't. But James Gunn is smart. I feel like that. Yeah. That kind of means we might get like a Nightwing movie, a Titans movie, maybe a Red Hood movie, something like that. You know?
Hopefully, getting either before Damian Wayne or a little bit after. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll
and I think calling it Brave and the Bold kind of gives you a big hint as to what this Batman style is going to be. Yeah. Which I think is great because Brave and the Bold is a very different take from like the Pattinson Batman. So I think it's a good way to separate. Like, hey. This is this Batman, that is that Batman. And it's crazy, too. It's going to be Robin for the first time ever in a long time since Chris O'Donnell, and the only other time was the Adam West one. So
that's right.
They've been too afraid to do it since then because of how shitty it's been. They look at Robin as a joke, but now they're like, no, we're making Robin, we're going to do it right. And, yeah, I'm excited to finally get a Robin on screen. I've been waiting.
Yeah. Because, the last one was technically the Adam West one.
Yeah, but I won't even be surprised if we see a little blue and yellow on this suit.
Honestly, I won't be surprised either. Actually, I would be more happy if they put blue and yellow.
Yeah. So, a lot of excitement for this one. Super, super stoked.
Yeah.
One of the other ones we got, which is Booster Gold, the TV series, which I'm pretty excited for. I think I'm going to enjoy that a lot. I do like Booster Gold. Not one of my favorites, but I've always enjoyed him, and I know he's got a pretty good cult following. How about you? What do you feel about that one?
The Booster Gold, I'm kind of meh about it. It's not that interesting to me. The cover did look great when we were watching the video, but it didn't look that interesting to me.
Yeah. So next we got Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which is based off an amazing comic. It should have won an award, kind of got stolen, but that's one where Supergirl and she's in space, and it's just like this epic tale and coming of age story. So super excited to see that. I think it's a great way to differentiate Superman from Supergirl and kind of get her story. And it'll be nice that they're finally not afraid to come back from the Supergirl movie from way back when. And I think this one's going to be a really good one to start it off with too.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited that they're making another Supergirl movie, because Supergirl is one of my favorite female DC characters, especially that she's, of course, a Kryptonian and a Superman, and it's not, Superman's the only powerful one, Kara is. But no, it's good that they're making another Supergirl movie, and the Wonder Woman thing, the whatever.
Yeah, well, that's not going to be on Wonder Woman. That's just about Themyscira.
Themyscira, sorry.
So that's not really the same, but yeah, it's that one's I'm probably between that and Brave and the Bold I'm most excited for.
Yeah. And
the last thing they're going to end it, which I think it's a movie, it's going to be Swamp Thing, which I know James Gunn loves that, so it's going to be interesting. And the whole thing is too, they instead of calling it phases like Marvel, they're titling there. So this first phase, as Marvel would call it, is going to be called Gods and Monsters, which I think explains why a lot of these titles, you're going to have Swamp Thing, obviously.
Yeah.
You got like the Authority and Superman, all of them covering like the normal superhero stuff, but then you got like Paradise Lost and all that, Creature Commandos, so should be interesting. I got some mild excitement for Swamp Thing. I think it should be good. I feel like that one, it says it's gonna be like a horror, like darker kind of movie. Give it off its own theme and vibe or tone. But yeah, so I like the Elseworlds idea, having their own side things. It's really interesting.
Yep.
I think James Gunn has got a nice start to this, and this isn't even everything. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch more stuff announced over time.
Definitely.
But I like this. I have faith in the new DCU and James Gunn, and hopefully it'll get its foot feeding. But next, just another little thing I brought up. So, once again, Absolutely Marvel DC, you can check this out.
Yep.
Someone brought up these theories, which kind of... I've had this idea for many years, and also kind of proves that I said this would be a good idea, just poor execution, and then on top of poor execution, you didn't stick with it. But 5G. Now, that was going to be a whole initiative for DC after, what's it called? Not Verizon. So, I forgot which phone. AT&T took over, right?
Oh. Wait.
So, yeah, they were making a new thing, and it's going to be the new era, blah, blah. So apparently there's theories that with the plans of how before things changed and why it got all crazy and complicated, that the plan was eventually at the end, just like everything, Batman was going to die, Wonder Woman would die, Superman would die, but instead of eventually bringing them back, all the new characters are going to take over and continue the stories. And Black Label, which you remember talking about on our old podcast, Animal Talk, which you can check out on the channel, they started out with the Batman book, where it showed his dick and a whole bunch of other stuff like that and had problems, and then it became just like a whatever thing.
Yeah.
But originally I was saying, I feel like, that's going to be a place where they do like their more mature content and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the theory was that's where they're going to keep writing the Batman stories and Superman and all of them after they're dead.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of the thing I've been saying, like, have an omniverse. You could have your main continuity, tell all those stories, and just continue it. Let the heroes grow old and die off, and the new generations take over. And in the Omniverse, you could tell eras, not just the multiverse of just the characters that are still dead that you want to talk about, but you could do different eras. You like the people that want to read 50 style stories, and the comic writers that want to write those can do that. And the stuff from this era and that era and modern, and like you could get that big range and capture a lot of people because. Some people miss this old stuff, and some people want new stuff, and it's like, well, you could do all that, and even the writers that want to do that will now have that free range and could take over a universe. So it's just kind of funny that I've mentioned that and had the idea for years, and it looks like that might have actually been the plan. And if they would have stuck with it, I think it could have worked. I think it would have been some ups and downs. You would have lost some people for a while and here and there, but I think overall it would have been a good change that over time I think could have helped comic readers, especially with at least in DC,
Yeah.
But, so what do you think about that?
I think definitely having an omniverse, not just for the dead characters and letting the younglings, take over is definitely a good idea. But especially not just for the dead characters, like you were saying, basically, how it's good to do it, technically, like an omniverse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for those characters and not just, and getting everyone, of course, and eventually just moving on. They're the older ones, the starters. Now bring in new ones that could do the job again.
Yeah, because it's you get to this point where it's we have so many Robins, and people are having no place in DC. They don't know what have a real spot to fill in the world. Mm-hmm. On top of that, you have characters that don't progress. Like Red Hood is stuck in the state. Damon's always stuck in the same progression state.
Exactly.
And because we just keep rebooting and keep it in this cycle, it doesn't push anything forward.
It doesn't grow any more than it. It doesn't grow anymore. It's stuck in the same place.
Yeah, so I think that would help things evolve and not just stay in a cyclical loop where it's just the same stories over and over, which a lot of people I know complain about.
Yeah.
But that's kind of that. Moving on, so in a few segments here and there, we've done like some comic booky type stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I had a new one, which I thought would be fun, with all the reboots and James Gunn and the revamps and stuff. I thought, hey, why don't we do an interesting comic pitch type thing?
Yeah.
So like the Snyderverse, right? Love it or hate it, it was a very interesting thing, and it got talked about, right? Now I think the problem with it is you're starting off a main continuity in the beginning, where it's not kind of a main continuity story. And this is more of like a darker, I'm going to take a little bit of Injustice, I'm going to take a little Dark Knight's Return, and I'm going to mash it all into this crazy story.
Yeah.
So I think that story could work and would look great, but after you've had your normal shit go on.
Yeah.
So my idea was, let's pitch our own 10-year Snyder-versy kind of comic book plan for the comics. If they were to reboot, like, what would be your story?
Yeah.
And I'm going to go first, just so, like, because it was my idea. You can kind of see how I do it in case you want to edit your stuff as I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But, this is going to be my little 10-year plan if I were to do the comics, just for some Snyder-versy stuff, you know, some mix and mash. Looks familiar, but it's a little different, you know. So, the whole thing we talked about, too, before this was you have to cover kind of all the points of the DC universe. You don't have to necessarily name and list every character, but kind of everything that's going on throughout.
Yeah.
So, I got, as normal, you know, Superman crashes on Earth and is picked up by the Kents and raised like normal. Batman's parents are killed by Joe Chill, but secretly, Joe Chill was hired by the Court of Owls so they could get more control over Gotham, so that's going to be like a little seed.
Yep.
Bruce eventually leaves for Gotham at 16, begins training in many skills, and after 3 years, he's met by Ra's, trains with the League of Assassins. After a year, Bruce discovers the true name and purpose and defeats Ra's after denying the mantle. During that time, Talia will have sex with Bruce and get pregnant with Damian. Going on, kind of in the same time frame, Superman's going to battle like some of his weak villains during his like Smallville era, like Toyman, Lex Luthor before he's like super powerful and is using a power suit, Mr. Mxyzptlk, Livewire, Atomic Skull, Nuclear Man, Silver Banshee, all that kind of good stuff. Over that time, he will go from just leaping tall buildings like old school into eventually having the ability to fly. So you kind of like see his evolution. He just doesn't start out OP as fuck, right?
Wait, who?
Superman.
Superman, sorry. Okay.
Slowly after he gets flying, he'll gain like his heat vision, his x-ray vision, the cold breath, and then during this time, Bruce will finish his training, go back to Gotham, and start his Batman project.
Yeah.
Kind of taken from the Pattinson Batman-verse.
Yeah.
Still without a suit for a while, taking on low criminals. He's eventually will don his first prototype suit with hardly any armor. It's going to be very classic, like the blue and gray with the yellow belt.
Yep.
His first big takedown will be Falcone and Maroni, and then he'll encounter Catwoman, finds out she's Falcone's daughter, in that kind of like the Long Halloween story. And going in, you got Barry Allen's side. He's going to be coming the Flash, kind of the same typical way as normal. He's going to be trained by Reverse Flash to be a hero, getting like the show New 52 idea. Eventually Barry will find out he's actually his nemesis, defeat him, and send him back to the future, and that'll be kind of his year one, similar to the show. Yeah. Once Clark Kent's a little older and working at the Daily Planet, this will be when he starts becoming way stronger and more invulnerable. That's when you start to see him become like the OP Superman slowly. During this time, Batman will don his second suit with the more black and gray scheme with more armor and stuff. And you'll see him be like, I don't want to have him like too campy. Like he's not gonna be like Adam West Batman, but he's gonna be a lot more light in the beginning. And then at this point, he's getting his second suit. Like this is when he's meeting not just mobsters, but like super villains. So he's like, I gotta kind of step up my game, get armor. I'm getting a little darker, a little grittier. You'll see the Long Halloween story kind of with the other shit happen that wasn't Falcone and Maroni. Battle Grundy, Ivy, Scarecrow, Penguin, meet the Joker the first time, and at the end, Dick Grayson will lose his parents and Bruce will adopt him.
Yep.
Then going forward, Batman and Robin will take down the next League of Assassins attack on Gotham, which he'll find out they weren't finished off.
Yep.
Robin forms the Titans during this time on the side, and Bruce gives them Titans Tower.
Yep.
Bruce begins keeping tabs on all the superheroes and villains in the world, making the Tower of Babel protocol, which after finding out all about the powers and tech, brainwashing and stuff in the world, that's where you see Bruce slowly start to becoming the more paranoid Batman we're used to.
Yeah.
Because I want to see, build, because I want to kind of get that story from all the generations we've had, all the characters kind of get like little elements of it built in there, So, sometime later, Dick and him will argue about kind of how things are done, like, Bruce, you're too paranoid, you're becoming too brutal, like, you need to calm down. Eventually, Dick's like, okay, I can't do this, he's gonna leave, go talk to Clark, who gives him the idea for the name Nightwing, just like kind of originally. And this is when things are slowly gonna start to change now, more Snyder-y.
Batman turns into a vampire. No.
So Batman then will go gain his next Robin right, Jason Todd. He'll meet Batgirl. Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart will have been Green Lanterns for a little bit. They'll take on Atrocitus, and that'll be kind of the Lantern Corps shit going on in space.
I forgot about Atrocitus.
Yeah. Wonder Woman will be having a war on Themyscira with the gods at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Batman will then go through the Death in the Family story where Jason dies, and the Killing Joke story right after where Barbara gets paralyzed. So this is when you're really going to see, okay, Batman's becoming darker. Now we got more modern day Batman. He's got like the more modern suit and tech and shit. He's holding back a lot less, hitting people a lot harder, super paranoid. After that, Superman will, this is where the twist comes, Superman will go as one of his side stories transferred into the Injustice universe, and we'll see Superman versus Superman, beat him, come back to the regular world. That'll just be a one-on-one thing. Mm. Then we'll have Clark will battle Bizarro, who's made by Lex Luthor. Lex will then manipulate events that Superman and Batman fight, but after they talk, they'll team up, become the world's finest, take on Lex with the power suit and a bunch of nanotech robots that he had. Lex will go to jail, and during this time, Bruce will eventually recruit Tim Drake finally as his Robin, and shortly after, he'll go through the Red Hood and Hush story. Mm. Then, back in Gotham, Bruce will start learning about the Court of Owls. The Court of Owls will try and recruit Dick as the Prophecy, the Grayson, and eventually they'll defeat them, and that's when Bruce finally learns that Joe Kill was hired by the court. Sometime later, General Zod will finally appear, here comes another twist, and attack the city, but sometime later, General Zod in a brainwashing technovirus will attack Earth. Superman will barely defeat him and discover he was brainwashed by something named Brainiac. Clark and Lois will get married shortly after, and during this time, Batman and Batwoman meet. Batman is defeated by Bane. Azrael takes over as Batman for a bit. Then Robin begs Batman to come back as Bats is fucking crazy. Yep. He'll take over again, and then we'll have the Tower of Babel story, where the Justice League will distrust Bruce. He won't be kicked off, though, in this version. Mm-hmm. Superman then teams up with Batman and Wonder Woman, or not kicked off the Justice League, but off the Trinity, Wonder Woman and Thing. Superman will then team up with Batman, Wonder Woman, and stop an alien invasion in Coast City. During that time, that's when they meet Hal and Barry, and they all start to, this is where the Justice League starts forming together as like an actual team. They've met like a couple times here and there. Martian Manhunter tells them about the White Martians trying to conquer Earth, and they prep to fight them off. They end up in Starling City, where they end up saving Green Arrow, Black Canary, and this is my Justice League. So you got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, Barry Allen, Flash, Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow, Black Canary.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The Hall of Justice Forum, where the JSA used to work, and John Kent is finally born soon after. Lex is released from jail, met by Vandal Savage, who gives him DNA from Superboy Prime, another twist. Lex creates a Superboy Prime clone with this DNA mix. Supergirl crashes on Earth, where Batman finds her and takes her to the Batcave and calls Clark kind of normal. Supergirl warns him about Brainiac. Brainiac attacks. Superman and Supergirl beat him, but are badly hurt. Superman unlocks his solar flare during this time, too. And during this time, on the side, the city is going to be so badly damaged that Lex's building is going to get hit, and the Superboy Prime clone is going to get accidentally released. And he's going to fly off, and in a rage, like not knowing anything, kind of mindless beast, he's going to destroy Coast City, where Hal Jordan lives while he's away, kind of like the normal story where it becomes Parallax, right?
Yep.
So, The Justice League start adding more members like Aquaman, Red Tornado, Captain Marvel, Blue Beetle, Beaster Gold, etc. The Flash battles Zoom and Savitar at this time. He also creates the other forces. Brainiac has a new body and base built, and the Titans go through the Judas contract story.
Yep.
We got Lex finds the Doomsday capsule floating in space and recovers it, saving it as backup weapon to fight Superboy Prime in case he needs.
Mm-hmm.
The Superboy Prime clone comes out of hiding after Coast City and begins fighting the Justice League, singing their imperfect heroes. Booster Gold, Blue Beetle, Aquaman, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Hawkdove, and Adam all die. Hal Jordan comes back and out of rage for what he learns, turns into Parallax and kills the Superboy Prime clone.
Jesus.
Lex releases Doomsday while Superman is weak. Doomsday kills Parallax, Hal, and Superman. All the other heroes there were badly beaten but not dead. Jaime Reyes gets the Scarab Beetle from Blue Beetle dying and becomes the next Blue Beetle. Kyle Rayner gets the Green Lantern ring, becomes the next Green Lantern. Superboy, Steel, the Eradicator, and Cyborg Superman all start coming out to claim that they're the new Superman. Brainiac recovers some powerful tech and fuses himself with the Anti-Monitor. This is where the big twist is coming towards the end.
I'm sorry. The Anti-Monitor?
Yeah. Brainiac and the Anti-Monitor fuse to become Brain Monitor. Yeah, this is the final end of my 10-year plan, right?
Fuck.
Yeah, I was like, see, it starts on normal, and then it turns into the
Wait,
Snyderverse.
this took a weird-ass turn. The Anti-Monitor and
Yeah.
Brain... Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I'm fusing a bunch of stories here. So then, towards the end, we got Wonder Woman, Steel, Kyle Rayner, Superboy, Flash, Batman, and Martian Manhunter all team up to fight the new supervillain team comprised of the Eradicator, big Superman-like problem, Cyborg Superman, Metallo, Reverse Flash, and Sinestro. Talia at this time will also drop off Damian Wayne to Bruce, and shortly after, the Blackest Night and Brightest Day story will happen. Then, to end it off, the Justice League, the Titans, and Young Justice fight the fused Brainiac Anti-Monitor, or Brain Monitor, as I like to call him. They defeat Brain Monitor by having Raven summon Trigon during battle, and Superman tricks Darkseid into fighting him and falling through a boom tube into the battle, taking some Dark Apocalypse stuff. Brain Monitor and Trigon both die, and Darkseid stands victorious but super weak, so instead of trying to take on the Justice League, he's just like, well, fuck it, I'll fight you guys another day. And he just boom tubes back to Apocalypse. And that's where my story leads off for the next, 10 years to build. But it sets up, it builds all the characters up, you get all the origin stories and stuff, you get a big plot, and I mix, the Crisis, the fucking Darkseid story, and all this shit, and then it verges into, the next 10 years, you'd start killing off the main heroes, next mantles will start taking up, and all that shit.
Wow.
But that's my epic 10-year plan.
Jesus.
For my comic universe.
Okay. I don't know if I could top that. I'm gonna be honest here, Chief. So, mine also starts off with Superman because he's the easiest to do.
Yeah, everyone knows DC starts. You gotta start with Superman.
Yeah, you gotta start with
The world
Superman.
starts with
So
Superman.
obviously, it always has to start with Superman. So the planet Krypton, which for some reason is still spelled with a C. What the fuck? All right, there
Crips.
you go. The planet Krypton is destabilized from the mining of the planetary core just before the planet explodes.
Nice.
Krypton Supreme Council Chief Jor-El, of course, wants to send or infuses the genetic codex to his infinite son Kal-El, Superman. Pretty basic stuff. Which is he was the first born infant in centuries, decades, whatever word you want to use. Yeah. But Jor-El manages to send Kal-El in a spacecraft towards Earth before being killed by someone in a mask, an unknown person in a hood.
What?
Plot twist. Kal-El ship, as he's landing down to Earth, breaks and collapses, and he barely just makes it, but not as the normal Superman but as an enraged baby. And
Oh god.
this is already going great. And where Jonathan and Martha Kent, of course, see him to try and cool him down, and they realize that they were the main source to cool down Kal-El, thank you. Kal-El, and he begins to slowly become the normal Superman we know and love. And then eventually later on, tornado attack, blah, 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 they die. Because, we don't need them. It's just Jonathan and Martha Kent. On to Batman. Batman, after going to a movie theater, his parents are killed in an alleyway by Joe Chill, which Joe Chill is also sent by an unknown man in a mask. You'll see this go on for a while. Batman moves on to go train for a couple of years to later become Batman and help the city of Gotham, which his first villain he takes out, not Falcone, it's Hush.
Interesting.
Yeah, Hush. Which, when he takes down Hush and sends him to jail, Hush leaves down a note that has a question mark, which Batman is confused. He doesn't know what this question mark could mean, yet he is an investigator, so he will eventually figure it out, giving us a little bit of hints of Riddler, because Riddler's funny sometimes, especially the one where he has the red hair. After that, Batman will then proceed to try to find more information on or investigate more information about his parents' death to try to figure out where Joe Chill is. Well, he won't know who Joe Chill is, but where Joe Chill is and who the killer is. While that's happening, the Flash will then eventually get his powers by a lightning blast, of course. And one day, as he is working as a CSI agent, a man will then, A man will then spill his coffee, and his powers will react, be able to pick it up, and realize that he has powers, and he will go to a state of shock, to which he will get cardiac arrest, and then have to go to the hospital, and when they're in the hospital, they'll read that his readings look a lot different in the genetic code than it normally does, and they will start testing on him, and he will be put in this chamber that will then test his genetic codes to see that he has unusual, or he has super speed-like powers. And they will be, for years and years, will try to be studying how it happened, but they will never come out to a conclusion, to which they release him, and then the Flash will then, wow, why did I just put a stop right there? The Flash will then come out of that state, and he will then proceed to help everyone in the medical state, or medical and scientist state, to see if they can also figure out the mystery of how it happened. He will also not remember what happened to him after the cardiac arrest, so he doesn't know that he got shocked by lightning. On to Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman will then be at the age of 12, or what is 12 to us, but do they have a different age system?
Yeah, they're still 12.
They're still 12. So at the age of 12...
Just live longer.
Yeah, at the age of 12, she'll be start training as an Amazonian? Warrior, as a warrior in the Amazon. She's raised on this island, of course.
Themyscira.
Yeah, Themyscira. Which then, during that, she meets the pilot, Chris, or not Chris, or wait, is it Chris Pine? Is that his name?
No, that's an actor.
That's the actor. No, what's his name? It's Steve.
Oh, it's Steve Trevor.
Steve Trevor, thank you. Which then, I wrote Chris Pine here. I wrote the actor. She'll meet Steve Trevor, who tells them about the massive plot that that is raging in the outside world, other than Themyscira, to which then she realizes that she'll need to go to Earth to go help. which at first her mother doesn't approve of it, but then when she realizes that it might have an impact on Themyscira, then she allows it, to which this would be Diana's first quote-unquote mission or warrior-like, not conduct, but warrior-like move, I guess. To which then, in that case, she would then first discover her powers within her arm braces, and this would also be around the time where she would also get her lasso too. On to who at first I didn't want to bring in, but I said fuck it. This is when we would start to meet Shazam, because I like Shazam. So Shazam at a young age is just a school student. He's 14, of course, just a school student walking around trying to, do his school thing, to which then he hears voices in his head, and he's confused about those voices, and those voices are telling him directions on where to go and to make the right path, to which he does, and he meets a man in a cloaked hoodie with a staff saying, "Come with me," to which then he discovers the powers of Shazam, which then turns him into, a full-grown adult, red suit, white cape, and he realizes now that he has superpowers, and he doesn't know if he should keep it a secret or not. He doesn't know anything. The man who tells him says, keep it a secret for now, but then later on help the world because it eventually will decay and fall, which that is a little bit of a plot twist right there. After that, Shazam's first villain stop, or not really villain stop, is he sees a robbery going on, and he realizes now that he can use his powers to not help the robbery, help stop the robbery, to which he does, and it is successful, but it gets a little bit shaky at hands because he doesn't know what to do. To which then he tries to go back to the place where he learned about and discovered his powers, to which that place is not there, and it has disappeared, and he gets confused and he doesn't know what to do, to which he learns and discovers powers eventually. Now, this is where it's gonna kind of start getting connected together. During the years of when Batman, or after Batman was done training, he goes and adopts a kid, which will be Dick Grayson, right? That's the order it goes in. Dick first.
Yep.
Yep. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I just said yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So then, which he will adopt Dick Grayson, to which then he will become his first Robin, which he'll train him under his aid and take care of him and all that such, to which their first villain that they both go after together, which would be the Riddler, because of the question marks that they found, that Batman found around Hush's body, still finding no evidence on the death of his parents, or the killer of his parents, and Alfred will then be oh my god, bombarded by these thieves that were able to break into the Batcave, to which this is when he would die. He was just not able to protect himself nor protect Wayne's Manor, which is, yeah, sorry.
Killing Alfred.
Look, this will lead to good things. After that, then Batman will come home to find out that Alfred is dead, and then feel like that he has failed because Alfred was like a father to him, and they wanted to, and because he didn't have a father at the later stages, he wanted to at least, or he had like a father-like figure, and now that he's dead, he feels like he's failed, and that he just shouldn't be doing this Batman thing anymore, because he thinks that this is me being Batman is the reason why Alfred died, and Robin is trying to, help him get through it and say, hey, everything's okay. You're a father to me. You're the best father. Blah 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 blah. After that, Superman then slowly discovers, is growing up, becomes a bartender at I never wrote a name for the bar. We'll just call it bar.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We don't need to be so detailed about that kind of stuff.
Basically, he gets, a bar job to which these people and these guys are, trying to mess around with him, to which he enrages and discovers that he has X-ray vision. X-ray vision or laser beams, whatever, to which he accidentally...
Those are two different things.
Laser beams, not X-ray vision. Laser beams, to which he kills the guy and enrages, and he causes the world to shift and cause earthquakes, and goes up into...
Oh, his laser vision?
He enrages, to which basically he causes the world to shake, and he flies off into the sun, to which now he is just staying there because he is enraged, and that's the only place he thinks he can goes. This is also where Wonder Woman will then go to the Earth to try to protect, to which he finds out that finds the people that were trying to attack the Earth from what Steve's wording was, where he was like, oh yeah, these people are trying to take over not take over the Earth, take over our country, and blah 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 blah, to which she thinks that this is a person to which Diana thinks, oh, this is the person that is also trying to take over Themyscira, to which then she was wrong and did the wrong bidding, and realized that she killed an innocent person and not the person that she was trying to, and realized that she was the one who was actually the bad person, and doesn't know if she should just off herself or if she should also just go home and turn herself in. Flash will then later discover that there is Flash will then bring the team up for Star Labs. He'll have, why am I forgetting that guy's name? His
Cisco?
best. Yeah, Cisco. Thank you. We'll later have Cisco. Yeah, Cisco. Thank you. Cisco, of course. JL or is it KL?
There's no one named that.
Not KL.
You're talking about Caitlin?
Yeah, Caitlin. Why did I say KL? Will then later be Caitlin, and they'll eventually try to figure out more about his powers, and they'll realize that there is another speedster-like person, which will then be Eobard Thawne, which will be his first little villain. Then after that, later in the years, Robin will then have to move on for Batman, because he realized that there's nothing that he can really do for Batman after Alfred died, which was, of course, like a father-like figure, and then turn into his own solo thing, which would then be Nightwing. After that, he will then... after that, Nightwing will then try and help Gotham by himself while Batman is away. To which, after that, we'll get our first little snippet of Shazam fighting his first villain, finding a man named Dr. Fate, which then helps him and guides him through his powers and trains him, taking under his aid and telling him a little bit more about what is going on in the world and what his powers need to be used for.
Yeah.
And after that, then that will also start the introduction of Black Adam, which at first is a guy in a containment where it has like cords and like this special water and shit, to which then that place will break down, causing the chamber to break out for him to come out. At first, he doesn't he's like an anti-hero, but then he slowly starts to become a hero, not really caring if he just knows that he's the big guy and that, oh, I'm tough, but then realizes that he should use his powers for better things, to which then he does. After that, around this time, not Robin, but Nightwing will then discover that there is superhero people, and sorry, I'm stumbling my words. Then he will discover that there's superhero people, and then form the Titans. This time, not being Robin, it will be Nightwing.
Yeah, you said that 5 times now.
Yeah, or not Nightwing, not Robin. Sorry, I don't know why I'm shaking. And then after that, then the man in the mask will then come down to Earth and send clones of him to try to destroy each part of the world, to which the enraging Superman will find this out and then try to stop this man, because they're trying to take over Kansas, or where he used to live, and to which Kal-El does not make it and dies to this masked man, to which now Batman realizes that he has to come back to save Gotham. Nightwing and the Titans don't make it, and they also died, to which then Flash, from also the Masked Man, which this Masked Man is of which they realize that this masked man, it appears to look like Brainiac, but just more powerful and more godlike, or Brainiac mixed with General Zod, essentially. So,
my idea.
I said General Zod, not Anti-Monitor. That's
Yeah, but you combined Brainiac again.
true. Fair enough. So after that, they realize that there is no turning back and that the Masked Man will take over. But then, when Diana arrives, he's able to stop the Masked Man, as I like to call him, and be able to help the world. And that is essentially the end of my 10 years. I'm sorry that took so long.
Yeah, you started a lot. You should have said it more bullet pointy and less detailed.
Sorry, sorry.
I was like, you're just telling a movie at that point.
Yes, one whole movie.
Alright, but no, I liked it. This is cool. I like the having the secret of Brainiac being like a masked man the whole time. You don't know who he is. Yeah. But yeah, that's our little comic pitch. I thought it'd just be a fun little exercise, playing with the Snyderverse type idea.
I'm so sorry that took so long.
Yeah, so just do bullet points.
Not bad.
I was like, you don't have to explain the stuff where I know. That's all. I was like, yeah, Batman story, normal. Superman crashes is normal.
Yeah.
But, no, you're fine. But moving on. Today, for our top 5, we're going to be in our top 5 DC heroes. Now, for mine, I have a few quick little honorable mentions. I got John Stewart, the Green Lantern. I got Wally West, the Flash. I got Impulse, Bart Allen. I got Wonder Woman, Nightwing, and Red Robin. Now, getting into my number 5, I got Black Canary, Dinah Lance, at number 5. One of my favorite female superheroes, super badass. She's a romantic partner of Green Arrow, so I got a lot of just love and connection because of that alone. Super skilled fighter. I love her sonic scream, and then she's always just got like a simple but like just really dope design usually, just with like the leather jacket and boots and stuff. So she's always been kind of one of my favorites.
Kind of like biker, trucky type style, but not really.
I want to say trucky, but like just a biker jacket.
Yeah, biker jacket. That's
But at number 4, I got Bruce Wayne, Batman. I just love a lot of the stories he's had. He's had just such an amazing runs throughout all the eras. He's always had just a cool costume design. Mm-hmm. Always liked how he's just one of the people who just like everyone could be fighting a league and he'll just tell everyone to shut up and then they will.
Yeah.
So had to put him in my number 4. And number 3 is kind of new change up. I got Emiko Queen, the Red Arrow. Big Green Arrow fan, and honestly, I fell in love with her character even more after a more Reeton's Titans comic with her and Damian. I love how she was written in that, and just the things she was going through and trying to be a better person after all the darkness she's went to, and also just like really dope character design. You know, it's a simple red Arrow outfit basically with the hood and all that, but it's just dope.
Yeah.
Number 2, I got Barry Allen the Flash. Now I've kind of switched to my Flashes here and throughout the years, but I think I'm kind of starting to cement Barry as my favorite. He's had most of my favorite stories, and he's kind of like, you know, not the first, because you want to say Jake Garrick, but he's kind of where it starts with at this point, you know, in time, and just he's not only like Wally's had also a lot of cool stories, but more recently he has some just very interesting stuff happen, and I've always loved just how like hopeful Barry is. Like, you know, I usually do like the dark and gritty characters, but occasionally I do want that one just like super good, super hopeful, always does right character, and that's the Flash for me. You know, he's like my Spider-Man in that sense.
He is.
But at number 1, never changes. I'm sure y'all can guess. That's Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow. Always loved it. Just like suit design, especially, you know, the green Robin Hood look, but also like more with like the rebirth stuff where he's got the hood and the slight armor to it. I always thought it was super dope. Always loved bow and arrows. I love so many of his stories, like Longbow Hunters. Year 1. There's the, I forget what the name of the arc is, but it was in the New 52 about all the kind of like prophecy stuff with the Arrow and the island going on and his father. So just such great stories. Interesting character. You know, he's not Mr. Perfect. He does make mistakes, which is why I like him. I think it makes for more interesting characters than someone who's, you know, never makes a mistake and is perfect, because that's just not as realistic, you know. And I like someone who occasionally his problem in life is himself, you know, because I can relate to that.
Yeah.
So, gonna run it back again. I got Black Canary at number 5. I got Batman at number 4. I got Red Arrow at number 3. The Flash at number 2, and Green Arrow at number 1.
Good list. Very good list.
Thank you.
So I have a few honorable mentions. So number 1 is for honorable mentions, Black Canary, great character, of course. I have Firestorm, which I almost didn't put on the honorable mentions, but then I just added him now because I remembered him. Of course, Starfire, because Starfire definitely deserves a mention. Raven, Cyborg, and Robin. That's damn near close.
All the Titans.
All the Titans, yeah. I just realized that. But on to number 5.
Wait, which Robin?
I didn't write that. I just wrote Robin. We'll just say Dick. Dick Robin. Dick Grayson Robin. So on to number 5. I'm honestly a little bit different from your list, but I do have Green Arrow on number 5. I do love Green Arrow. Definitely love the show too. That's kind of what made me get a little bit more connection to him. Like you were saying, definitely that he has a realization that he sometimes is the problem, and he does make mistakes most of the time. Mm-hmm. Something I like, and I don't. That's why I also don't like Superman. Like he's too overpowered. I like someone who's a little bit, you know, that will get beat up. I don't like that he could just stop someone and grab their head and shit. But on number 4, the Flash, Barry Allen. I made sure that I said one of them. Gotta love the Flash. Flash has a great character. Great character design.
Slow down.
Just trying to. Yeah. Okay. He has a great character design.
You're like turning red. You're talking so fast.
Yeah. He has a great character design, and overall his storyline and how he realizes that he might be the killer of his parents, and his villains too, and overall his glow up and his powers and how he got them is overall just great. I always love the Flash, especially in the animated series. His character's always funny because he loves to make fun of Batman. So yeah, that's Flash. That's number 4, I think. Number 3 is Batman, and I made it specific. I chose Beyond. I love Batman Beyond. Are we being specific?
Well, yeah, you have to.
Okay.
There's multiple people
Yeah, okay. So I chose Batman Beyond because 1, I love that animated series, and 2, that suit design is so clean. I love that there isn't
Yeah.
a cape.
Love the red.
Love the black and red. It's also a new Batman, not Batman himself, because this is when Batman was a little bit old, or was older, if I'm not mistaken.
Not a little. He was definitely.
Oh
like
yeah, he was
80.
way older. He was way older.
He's Alfred at that point.
Yeah, he is the new Alfred. They essentially took turns. So yeah, new Batman, much cleaner design. I love it. Animated series was great, and yeah, and I like no cape. Having the wings is better than no cape, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like Terry's wings over Bruce's cape.
Yeah, because I mean, I get that the cape can help, but like sometimes it can get in the way. Like it can cover your face by accident. You just get punched in the face. While no cape,
Yeah,
you
as
can
long
see.
as grab you by and throw you back.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why no one thought of that.
I've seen it happen a couple times actually.
Yeah. On to number 2, we have Green Lantern, Jon Stewart. My favorite one out of the Lanterns. I didn't like Hal Jordan as much. But Jon Stewart, great in the animated series. Overall, his character design and suit was clean. So was essentially every Green Lantern suit, because they made it all look clean. But Jon Stewart, I liked him the most because I remember seeing him more in the animated series instead of Hal Jordan. I think he's also he used to be the only Green Lantern I knew, and then I watched the movie with Ryan Reynolds in it, and then I realized that there was more. But overall, I loved his backstory, his character design, and overall his character development. It was honestly great, especially in the comics. His story is told really well, and I love it. I love Jon Stewart. Great, best Green Lantern. And on to my number 1, which this is my all-time favorite. It is Blue Beetle, Jaime, of course.
Nice.
Always loved Blue Beetle. Always loved the Scarab. He was really great in the animated series, especially when he was a Titan for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was great. Overall, the Scarab and how it was introduced and how it was given to Jaime was really great. I loved it. In the game, he's really funny and he likes to make jokes with everyone, and overall, great character design. And I love how the Scarab looks, especially it kind of reminds me of Iron Man's nanotech in a way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where it just appears on, and he's essentially kind of like Cyborg, but he's also kind of like Iron Man. He has the blasters, he has the blades. Overall, just a great character.
Cyberman.
Cyberman, there you go. That sounds like a better name than Blue Beetle. But yeah, Blue Beetle is my number 1. Of course, Jaime, because I think there was another one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's Ted Cord.
Yeah.
I think there was even one more before him, but
I don't remember. All I remember is Jaime. So on my number 5, there's Green Arrow. Number 4 is The Flash, Barry Allen. Number 3 is Batman Beyond. Number 2 is Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, and number 1 is Blue Beetle.
sweet. Yeah, that was a good list. I like that one.
Thank you.
Well, that is it for today, guys. Thank you for being here and watching this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share it out with your friends, comment below. If you want to go the extra mile and help support the channel and, get us some gear and all that stuff, you can hit the links in below and, I don't know, pick from one of the many freaking links that we have to help support the channel. There's all kinds of stuff you could do. So check that out.
Yes.
But until next time, guys, peace.